We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. The country's employment rate continued to pick up in October, which is considered as the highest rate since January 2020. In its latest report, the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA said the country's employment rate improved to 95.5% in October from 95.0% in the previous month. The total number of employed Filipinos in October was at 47.11 million, higher than the 43.82 million in the same period last year. However, it is a little lower compared to the 47.58 million employed individuals in September 2022. The country's labor force participation rate in October this year was registered at 64.2%, or about 49.35 million Filipinos aged 15 years old and above. The services sector continued to dominate the employment market as it registered the lion's share of employed persons at about 59.2%. On the other hand, employed persons in the agriculture sector is posted at 22.5%, while the industry sector accounted for 18.3%. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. attended the 11th Arrancada Philippine Forum 2022 this morning to further strengthen the business sector in the country. He also vowed to invest in education and research and development to boost the local industries. The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, is seeing a robust and sustained economy under the Marcos administration. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said the country's key economic indicators remain promising, citing the 7.7% expanded economic growth rate during the first 3 quarters of 2022. Balisacan said this implies that the target growth of 6.5 to 7.5% this year is highly achievable. Balisacan said that while the Marcos administration is well aware of the economy's domestic and external risks, addressing inflation and the constraints to rapid economic growth requires a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach. Filipinos can expect to celebrate a better Christmas this 2022 with more vaccinations and more prepared hospitals against COVID-19. DOH Officer in Charge Maria Rosario Vergeire said, unlike in 2020 and 2021, hospitals are now more prepared to admit and treat COVID-19 cases. At least 73.7 million Filipinos are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19, while 21 million have received their booster shots. Vergeire also pointed out that antiviral medicines to help COVID-infected individuals with their symptoms are now available. Vergeire made the statement during the last leg of the government's 3-day Bakunahang Bayan COVID-19 vaccination drive, where children aged 5 to 11 received vaccines. The Philippines recorded 883 new COVID-19 infections on Tuesday. Meanwhile, at least 6,662 beds were occupied, while over 21,600 were vacant as of Sunday, December 4. The Land Transportation Office assured no let-up in its fight against corruption and in eradicating fixers among its ranks. LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Jose Arturo Tugade warned that fixers have no place in the agency and that their days are definitely numbered. Tugade reiterated that corruption has no place in the LTO anymore. The LTO chief's statement follows the arrest of an employee at the LTO Gimbal Extension Office in Iloilo who was reportedly conducting fixing activities. LTO Region 6 received complaints that the unscrupulous employee allegedly promises to fix LTO transactions but keeps the fees and does not complete the transaction. The 61-year-old female employee was arrested in an entrapment operation made in cooperation with the police. She will face criminal and administrative charges. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Office of the Press Secretary and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change.